We're kicking off today with CM Punk, who has been back in WWE for close to a year and a half now, but for a very long time, fans never saw that happening. In early 2023, during Punk's first suspension from AEW, Seth Rollins called him a cancer, echoing words reportedly used by Chris Jericho following the infamous All Out 2022. While some may consider Punk to be a cancer, Nick Khan certainly doesn't see it that way, as on the Bill Simmons podcast, Khan rejected the label others had put on the best in the world. It was so obvious to me that he wasn't a cancer. I always found him to be honest, responsive. He's been a gem to work with. Khan added that as a former agent, he knows about working with difficult personalities, but doesn't see that in Punk, saying that he's always found Punk to be a gentleman. Since returning to WWE, Punk has been incident-free behind the scenes, with the biggest scandal being Booker T claiming he and Punk got into it at an NXT taping. Booker later admitted that he just made that up for clickbait, and in contrast, Punk has reportedly been eager to help and professional since his stunning 2023 comeback in Chicago. Do you believe CM Punk is a cancer, as others have claimed, or do you think this bold suggestion is a massive exaggeration? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Now, WrestleMania 41 is mere days away, and in recent weeks, WWE has been counting down what the company considers the greatest matches in the history of the show. Now that list has its #1 match of all time, an honor bestowed to Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker's Instant Classic from WrestleMania 25 in April 2009. At close to 30 minutes long, the match had plenty of memorable moments, from Michaels' all-white entrance from the heavens to HBK kicking out following a tombstone piledriver. The match beat Stone Cold vs. Bret Hart from WrestleMania 13, as despite that match set to be the WWE Hall of Fame's first immortal moment, it took second place. The Rock vs. Hulk Hogan from 2002 came third, while The Rock's battle with Stone Cold Steve Austin from WrestleMania 17 took fifth, and Cody Rhodes finishing the story from last year came With 40 years of WrestleMania, WWE had plenty of matches to choose from, and do you think the right bout took #1, or is there one better? Let us know down in the comments. In January 2025, Omos shared that he would be departing Pro Wrestling Noah to return to WWE, an act that saw him surrender his GHC Tag Team Championship reign. Despite his declaration, Omos has yet to be seen on WWE TV since parting Noah, leaving fans to wonder what exactly is going on with the Nigerian giant. According to Fightful Select, there's no injury holding Omos back, as he is cleared and ready to perform, but despite what happened earlier this year, he's just not being used. Not only that, but Omos isn't being brought up in creative discussions, despite WWE reportedly being impressed by the work he delivered while appearing for Noah. A contact within Noah also spoke positively about Omos, saying the Giant made a good impression and believes the company would be happy to have him back in the future. Ultimately, it'll be up to WWE as to whether Omos appears for Noah again, but for the time being, don't expect Omos to be appearing on any wrestling show just yet. In the early days of AEW, the company was able to sign several former WWE superstars, but in 2025, WWE has a fair share of talent who were once known as All Elite. From Cody Rhodes to Jade Cargill to Ricky Saints, WWE is brimming with AEW alum, and fans can expect plenty more AEW wrestlers to become superstars if Nick Khan has his way. On the Bill Simmons podcast, Khan said that he's happy AEW has a lot of talented wrestlers, though referred to AEW as the other wrestling promotional company. Khan added that when an AEW star is contractually available, Khan assumes a number of them will come to WWE, just like fans have already seen in NXT and the main roster. Khan ended by saying nothing but respect to the father who finances it and owns the Jaguars, in a nod to Shad Khan, the father of AEW president Tony Khan. Nick Khan is clearly confident that more AEW talent will make their way to WWE, but his comments earned a fiery response from Ricochet, who said, "These guys f***ing suck." Ricochet knows what it's like to work for both WWE and AEW, and has certainly been positioned higher up in the card as an all-elite talent compared to being on WWE's main roster. Do you think Nick Khan is right with his comments about the other company? Who do you see moving from AEW to WWE next? Share your thoughts down in the comments section. At Royal Rumble, it was said that the winners of the 2 Rumble matches will go on to main event WrestleMania 41, but that isn't going to happen on either night. Neither Jey Uso nor Charlotte will be part of the final match inside Allegiant Stadium this weekend, and now Jey has shared his thoughts on the matter. In a WWE vlog detailing his road to WrestleMania, Jey admitted that he hoped to main event either night, but recognizes that's not going to happen, which he now says is okay with me. Jey said that it's big enough merely to be on the WrestleMania card, something it took Jey nearly 10 years to achieve, and now he hopes that his match this Saturday will be on first. Jey hopes to set the tone for the show by going on first, and opening WrestleMania could be a tease that Jey could be leaving as the new World Heavyweight Champion. If Jey vs. Gunther kicks off WrestleMania, it'd certainly be surprising if Gunther retained, an act that would kick off WrestleMania 41 on a serious, sour note. Over to AEW Dynamite, as the show's main event saw the trios titles on the line as the Death Riders took on the Opps. Both teams had substitutions, with Jon Moxley filling in for the injured Pac, while it was announced during the show that the Death Riders had attacked and hospitalized Hook. Powerhouse Hobbs revealed himself as the third man for the Opps, and he brought the fight from the get-go in this match that also saw the Young Bucks make an appearance. Swerve Strickland emerged from the crowd to send them packing, and the finish saw Samoa Joe choke out Moxley to secure the win and the AEW Trios Championship. This was a huge win for the Opps, and while Moxley may still hold the AEW World title, losing the Trios title strips the Death Riders of the prestige they've carried for months. The show ended with a massive celebration as the AEW roster came out to not just cheer for the Opps winning the gold, but for this massive setback to the Death Riders. While Hook's status remains uncertain, this was the right time for a title change, especially after Pac's injury, as the Opps are now the true powerhouse trio in AEW. Having Joe choke out the AEW World Champion to win the gold could also be a tease of things to come, and it may be a matter of time before he shares the ring with Moxley again. In perhaps the most anticipated match of the night, Mercedes Moné and Athena fought like the top two women in wrestling in their Women's Owen Hart Foundation tournament match. The pair delivered some great sequences, including a shotgun dropkick into the LED barricade that broke the screen, but in the end, it was the CEO who got the win. Taking nothing away from Athena, Moné got the roll-up O'Connor roll, showing that her win was more about being in the right place than being able to physically beat the War Goddess. This was a fantastic match that lived up to the high expectations of this first-time AEW encounter, as Athena was able to match Moné when it came to strikes. Having Moné barely escape with the win protects Athena, and the result could have gone either way, and it would have been great to see Athena win. This finish sets up a potential rematch, potentially at Supercard of Honor or at All In Texas, but now Moné has punched her ticket to the finals of the tournament. She'll face either Jamie Hayter in what will be a first-time clash, or step back in the ring with Chris Statlander in a match that Stat would hopefully win after her previous defeats. If the CEO loses the final, she's perfectly positioned for a rematch with Athena, with plenty of gold potentially on the line between the two top women of AEW and Ring of Honor. In the Men's Owen Hart Foundation tournament, Josh Alexander made his debut in AEW as the wild card and was able to outpace Hangman Adam Page. As Page slowed down, the walking weapon sped up, but in the end, it was Page who advanced, catching Alexander with a pin for the victory. Post-match, Kyle Fletcher mocked Hangman and started a brawl, and while Page had the early advantage, Alexander ambushed him, allowing Fletcher to lay out his semifinal opponent. AEW has brought in some exciting names in recent months, with Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight already making an impact, and now fans can add Alexander's name to the list. This was a great showcase of talent, underlining that the Cowboy was out-wrestled for much of the match, and like Moné in her match, his win took nothing away from the opponent. Losing his debut match shouldn't be seen as the end of the world for Alexander, and could actually prove beneficial as he's willing to show he's a team player from the start. Alexander came off as a serious threat to anyone going forward, but this match set up a potential finals match between Page and Will Ospreay. That all hinges on whether Hangman can outlast Kyle Fletcher, a match that could very well be the match of the entire tournament. At WrestleMania 41, Jade Cargill will battle her former friend Naomi in the first ever singles match between two women at the event without a title or stipulation attached. Instead, this match will center on the story of how Naomi betrayed Jade back in November of last year, and these two are holding nothing back, either in the ring or online. On Twitter, Naomi claimed that Jade had paid $3.99 for a filter to make her abs look better, but Cargill fired back, claiming that Naomi had gone to DR for shots. This was seemingly a nod to the Dominican Republic, a hotbed for surgery tourism, as Jade accused her ex-ally of getting enhancements to her cheeks. Not to be outdone, Naomi claimed that the only shots she gets is from her husband, Jey Uso, in a very un-PG line that shows WWE's willingness to stretch what it allows to be said. Jade and Naomi will hold nothing back in what will be the first singles match for both women at WrestleMania, and who do you see standing tall inside Allegiant Stadium this weekend? Now, Mariah May is one of AEW's top women, but recently it was reported that the former Women's World Champion may not be all elite for much longer. On Wrestling Observer Radio, it was reported that there is significant interest in May from WWE, and it was also stated that she signed a 2-year deal with AEW in November of 2023. This all means that May could be signed under a WWE contract by the end of this year, and her absence from TV as of late has only fueled speculation among fans. While it's unclear when May will return to TV, she has now resurfaced on social media and on Instagram shared a post many believe was a nod to her current career prospects. May's post included an image with the words, "Every time you level up, your old life will try to call you back, don't answer," a post some believe was a nod to her old life being AEW. On Wrestling Observer Radio, it was added that May's dream has always been to land in WWE and that the company knows she wants to go there, but no formal moves have been made yet. There was a rumor circulating online that May had requested a release from AEW, though PW Insider debunked the claim, and at this time, the glamour remains under an AEW deal. Do you think Mariah May should leave AEW for WWE when she can, or is she better sticking with Tony Khan's company? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments section. Last year it was revealed that Jacob Henry, the son of WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry, had signed an NIL deal with WWE, exciting fans eager to see the athlete in action. With Mark no longer with AEW, speculation has grown that the father and son could team up in the ring, but the world's strongest man isn't going to let that happen. In a new interview with Poker Scout, Mark Henry was asked about potentially wrestling again and gave an emphatic "hell no," adding if someone asked him to wrestle, he'd call the cops. Reiterating his point, Henry made clear that "I'm done," with the final match of his career coming in 2018 as part of the Greatest Royal Rumble match. Now, nearly 7 years later, Mark Henry has no intentions on competing again, and while he'll likely be back on WWE TV in the future, don't expect a World's Strongest Slam by this legend. Back to AEW Dynamite now, as Konosuke Takeshita and Will Ospreay wrestled like nothing could top them, and in the end it was Ospreay who got the win with a series of finishers. This wasn't just the best match in the Owen Hart Men's Foundation tournament to date, but was arguably one of the very best in the history of AEW Dynamite. The pair delivered unmatched chemistry, and while things started as a standard match early on, it built to a wild final 5 minutes that may go unmatched for a very long time. The aerial assassin needed this win, continuing to prove he's ready for AEW's biggest stages, and winning the Owen would put him in line for an AEW World Championship run. Over a year after first signing with AEW, which itself came after several appearances, many feel it's time for Ospreay to win the richest prize AEW has to offer. Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley were able to overwhelm Bishop Khan and Toa Liona to retain the AEW World Tag Team Championships. MJF then arrived with a new recruiting tactic, 7 women to dote on them, and while Benjamin teased accepting the offer if MJF handed over his watch, he ultimately refused. Nevertheless, MJF offered the women and the watch and promised more if Benjamin joined his efforts for the former AEW World Champion to be added to the Hurt Syndicate. This title match was solid, though it seemed odd that the Gates of Agony got as much offense as they did considering their current standing in AEW. What happened after the match felt somewhat off, as parading women as bargaining chips is not a story that seems to fit in with the Hurt Syndicate in 2025. While MJF has always tested the limits of acceptable storytelling, there are better ways to push boundaries, especially in a company with so many talented female wrestlers. Perhaps it was a nod to WCW-style antics, but it didn't land well, and it did little to enhance a story that some fans feel is starting to lose momentum. MJF needs to convince the Hurt Syndicate to let him join soon or move on to something else, and whatever is next, it should come sooner rather than later. And that was this week's AEW Dynamite, and what did you think of this week's show? Let us know your thoughts on the episode down in the comments section below. Video game news now, as Cody Rhodes and The Undertaker are no stranger to appearing in WWE video games, but now the pair are landing in the world of Fortnite. According to Fortnite insider Lulu World, Cody Rhodes and The Undertaker will officially debut as Fortnite skins on Friday, April 18th as part of a WWE collaboration. The full WWE Fortnite package will cost 2,800 V-Bucks, equivalent to $19.99, and will include skins of the two wrestlers, 2 back blings, pickaxes, emotes, and a weapon wrap. Players will have the chance to purchase these items separately, and this is just the latest example of WWE crossing into the world of Fortnite. Fans have already seen The Rock, John Cena, and Becky Lynch appear in the series, and now gamers can look forward to the Deadman and the American Nightmare landing in the hit series. As we previously reported, Chelsea Green is not set to appear at WrestleMania 41 in what many are seeing as a major snub for the inaugural Women's United States Champion. Many believe that Green's character work and willingness to do anything for WWE has earned her a spot on the card, and it's not just fans who are of this opinion. On Twitter, Matt Cardona acknowledged his obvious bias, but questioned how WWE can't find a spot for his wife on either night of WrestleMania 41. Cardona knows all about struggling to make the WrestleMania card, as he only competed a handful of times at the Showcase of the Immortals, despite his lengthy tenure with WWE. As for Green, time will tell if she gets a match or an on-screen role, and do you think the Women's US Champion has earned herself a spot at the show? Let us know below. In 2023, LA Knight seemed on the cusp of becoming WWE World Champion, and while he had the momentum behind him from fans, WWE never pulled the trigger. Knight came up short in that year's Money in the Bank ladder match, as well as against Roman Reigns later that year, and since then, Knight has fallen back into the mid-card. Today, Knight is the reigning United States Champion, and when speaking to the Gorilla Podcast, said he still believes a WWE World Championship win is in his future. This was a bold claim by Knight, who not only had his moment back in 2023, but at 42 years old, time is not on the side of the megastar. Do you think LA Knight will one day hold a WWE World Championship, or has the window of opportunity passed for him? Let us know below. If you've been watching AEW as of late, you'll have noticed that Darby Allin hasn't been around, and we now know where exactly the former TNT champion is. This week, a photo was shared of Allin at the base of Mount Everest as the Daredevil wrestler prepares to climb the mountain after multiple delays due to injuries. Climbing Everest is no easy feat, with over 300 people dying on the mountain since records began, and we can only hope Allin's name isn't added to those records. And we're ending today with more from AEW Dynamite, as this week's show wasn't just a spring breakthrough special, but was also a historic night for Tony Khan's company. This was episode 289 of Dynamite, meaning that the show has officially surpassed WCW Monday Nitro, which reached 288 episodes between 1995 and March 2001. After Dynamite went off the air, Tony Khan appeared and thanked the fans in Boston for coming out and was excited for another 289 episodes of his flagship show. Khan didn't make reference to Dynamite passing Nitro, but is no doubt happy to surpass WCW's main show, and we'll have to see what the next 289 episodes of AEW Dynamite have to offer.